SID, baby. You ready? Or not? Click on the ones and twos, yeah. SAGU in the place to be. Yeah. Feels good, don't it? Hey. Feels good, don't it? Hey. Feels good, don't it? Hey. Here we go.
Good evening and welcome to the Schaefer Center here in Waxahachie, Texas, on the campus of Southwestern Assemblies of God University. And you have tuned in to tonight's feature presentation. It's a doubleheader, and the first game up is your SAGU Lady Lions facing off with, I guess that's a hockey term, Carrie, but they will be matching up against the USAO Drovers all the way from Oklahoma City and or just around that part. And my friend tonight and comrade and on the microphone is Sarah Carrie Woodson. It's so good to have you here, Carrie.
Well, I don't know about the sir part, but it is really good to be here with you, John, and it's good to be in the gym this time of year.
I love it.
It's now college campuses are beginning to focus on basketball.
That's
basketball takes center stage for the next few weeks.
And it's rainy and kind of cold outside. Not cold, but chilly. And it's a good night to get indoors, and hopefully the supporters will get into the gym and cheer their Lady Lions on. Right now we're going to go down courtside with Riker Russell. She's with head coach Tiffany Phillips. Riker, what does Coach Phillips have to say?
Thanks, Sean. Coach, last Saturday you put up a tough fight against second ranked in the country, Oklahoma City. What worked for you in that game that you plan to bring into tonight's game?
Yeah, we've talked a lot about that this week, and thanks for saying so. I thought we played really well. We're just going to try to move the ball kind of like we did against Oklahoma City. We want to make sure that we get the right people, the right shots, in the right spots. That was really rhythmical. So, but I'm really excited about that. I think if we move the ball like that tonight, we'll be okay.
USAO is ranked number 2 in the country in blocks per game. What's your game plan to counteract the Lady Drovers defense tonight?
Yeah, we want to make sure we go right at them. We want to try to get them in foul trouble. 34 obviously leads the country, I think, in blocks. And so we want to try to attack her and get her in foul trouble early. That's kind of our plan.
Thank you so much, Coach. Good luck tonight. Back to you, John.
Thanks, Riker, and thanks, Coach Phillips. Well, Carrie, tonight's matchup is, I like it. I think it's very favorable for the Lady Lions, but it is going to be kind of a helter-skelter pace. USAO comes in with a known press, so they will put the pressure on. But if the Lady Lions can do well and break that press, I like their chances in the half-court offense. Coach Phillips has done a masterful job this year at getting her half-court offense in order, and lately they've been playing very well.
Yes, I think the key is going to be how can they handle that press? Yeah. Can they get the ball across midcourt? I think once they get there, they have a good chance. And so they've got a big girl in the paint that they have to contend with. She's number 4 in the country in blocks. So they have to be aware of, just when they go in there like that. But I think they can go directly at her. I think Coach Phillips' strategy is maybe to go at her, get her in foul trouble possibly.
All right, we're going to go down courtside right now with the pregame festivities. It's the national anthem and the starting lineups.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watch, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner
And now the starting lineups for the Drovers. At guard, junior number 2, Caitlin Johnson. At guard, freshman number 3, Millie Carrera. At guard, senior number 13, Narda J. Cage. At guard, senior number 21, Rainier Emmons. And at forward, senior number 34, Hattie Sin. Head coach is Derek Matthews. And now the starting lineups for your Lady Lions. At guard, junior number 1, Kiara Glenn. At forward, junior number 14, Alexis Asher. At guard, senior number 20, Lexi Rich. At forward, junior number 21, Billy Green. And at guard, junior number 23, Sydney Metter. Head coach of the Lions is Tiffany Phillips. Assistant coach is Eric Wood. And graduate assistant is Donnie Pickles.
All right, we're back, and that's your starting lineups for tonight. And you can see there the women's basketball standings for the Sooner Athletic Conference. Oklahoma City is just absolutely dominating. Number 2 in the country, probably should be number 1 in the country. And we got a good look at them this past Saturday. And Kerry, they're the real deal. They are the real deal. Sooner Athletic Conference is always known to field great basketball teams on the men's and women's side. And this year will be nothing short of that. You're going to see 2 really good teams go at it, although USAO comes in with a 4-2 conference record, and your Lady Lions are 2-4. There you see USAO with the win on the jump ball. They get it, and they quickly get it into a half-court set. Emmons puts up a brick, but it goes off. A Lady Lion. Nice move to the middle. No call, no whistle, no contact. Quickly, Lions get the ball down. Sydney Metter puts up a shot. It's no good. And now the Drovers quickly get the ball down. They get 3 put-back attempts, and one of them finds their way in to knock the can off the bucket, and it's your first score of the game. And you see a little bit of token pressure. It looks like a 2-1-2, 3-quarter press, easily broken by the Lions. Glenn. Lexi Rich says, if you're going to give it to me, I'm going to take it. Easy rebound by the Drovers. They get into their half-court set. The big man Seen passes it off to Emmons. Johnson down to Seen. Seen's going to try to do some work. Didn't get the travel call. And there was a whistle. And it looks like maybe a push in the back. And now the full court trap, or the full court press, I should say, is on.
It looks like a 2-2-1 press, what they're on. This is going to be key, and it looks like the Lady Lions breaking it really with no problem right now.
Glenn with the shot from the top of the key. From long range, no good. Easy rebound for the Drovers. That's going to be deflected out.
And you already see the difference in defensive philosophy between the two teams, where the Lady Lions, coming out in a man-to-man defense, the Drovers, setting back after that press, going back into a zone.
Nice backdoor cut down the baseline. And Johnson there to put it in with an easy 2. Rich throws it up, easily broken again, gets it into the middle. Now the half-court set for the Lions. Metter, somebody's out of place. Coach Phillips asking for better spacing. Glenn trying to make something happen, gets it off to Metter. Metter goes to the middle. This is what she's been doing lately with great success. And we're going to have a little confrontation between, or consultation of the striped jerseys. This is definitely going to go back to the Drovers. It looked like they said the shot clock had expired. Johnson brings the ball up. It's going to be good defense by the Lions. They knock it out. USAO with the ball on the baseline. A little razzle-dazzle between the legs. No good on the shot. And that goes off one of the USAO players. Let's see if it's maybe Johnson.
Philly Green getting good position, like on scene.
And they called that out on the Drovers, but that actually went out on Green.
Here's turnover number 1 against the press.
This is one thing that we were talking about a little bit, Kerry, before as we were scouting the game. The turnover ratio has got to come down for the Lady Lions. This seems to be the one nemesis. They do not take care of the ball as well as they can, and we've seen them play with an exceptional way of playing without turning the ball over, and this is why they seem to win the games. When they could cut their turnovers down, they seem to be really in it, and they played an excellent game against Oklahoma City. They were focused, but it's these small little, unforced turnovers that give the ball back over that are just killing them throughout the early part of the season. And they're getting better at it, but this is one of those things they've got to concentrate on. Nice cut by Green. She collects the foul.
The foul against Scene. I think that's part of the game plan, is to take it right at her. She almost got the block, so it was really close between the block and the foul that she got.
And she's one of the top in the nation at blocks, so you really got to go in fearless and take it to her. And like Coach Phillips said in the pregame interview, is the strategy is to go at her and hopefully get her in foul trouble.
Because a lot of times those who are good blockers are also prone to foul trouble.
Here comes Scene. Scene with a lot of extra steps. No call. Gets it out on the wing to Metter. That's good defense by the Drovers.
Sydney coming off of just a recent 32-point game. So she will sneak up on you offensively, but she and Lexi are right there, the two main offensive weapons for the Lady Lions.
Well, there are a lot of weapons. Kara Glenn, she can score too if she gets on a roll. Her perimeter play has become very good, and she is a three-point threat for sure. Great defense by Lexi Rich, just couldn't get the pass up. And there's a travel. It's going to go back to the Lions. Lions ball. Cage Didn't agree with the ref on that particular one. She was down there. She thought she got fouled more than she traveled. Maybe a little case there. Rich, back to Glenn. Now the half-court setup. To Casher, down to Rich, back to Casher. Metters, open, foul line, good shot. Big rebound by Green. Green gets it out to Rich. Rich doing a little work. She drives in with the floater, no good, too hard. Easily picked up, rebound, and this is going to be a coast-to-coast. Looks like it'll be a charge.
Offense, yes.
It is. And that was Metter getting set, holding her ground fearlessly.
That's not easy to do when you've got somebody coming
at you
full
at
speed.
full steam. Great play, great heads-up play by Sydney Metter to get that charge, get the ball back. It's 1-4. There you see a little more action going on in the Sooner Athletic Conference. Wow. Oklahoma City in the first quarter, and it's 17-11. That's a bit of a surprise. Bacone struggling in their sports program as of late, and not what you would expect from Oklahoma City in a Bacone matchup. We'll keep our eye on that. Back to the Schaefer Center. Kiera Glenn setting up the offense to bring Casher out. Looks like they're really going to try to work Lexi down on the lower part of the wing.
One of the benefits of that press is that even if they don't get the steal each time, if you notice, it's taking 10 seconds off the shot clock by the time they get down there and ready to really get in their offense. They're already down to 20 seconds. So sometimes a press can be effective even if you don't get a turnover on it.
Sure. Yeah, you the idea is to just kind of wear them down, and you hope that the results actually show up in the fourth quarter. And USAO kind of needs that. And with a team that is high pressure defensively, the numbers work out like you would suspect, where the Lady Lions are outperforming in the fourth quarter than the other three quarters. USAO, not the case. That is their worst quarter. And it takes a lot out of you, so you need to have a fairly lengthy bench to be able to pull a full court press off throughout a whole game. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can pull that off tonight, because Lady Lions, they can go the full distance. Did not collect any iron on that shot, so the shot clock.
They had switched to that man-to-man defense that possession down and really was putting pressure on the perimeter. You notice even though they're doing that man-to-man pressure outside, they still kept setting right down there in the paint. She wasn't even going out, to guard. So she's kind of their rim protector, so to speak.
Yeah, it's quasi man-to-man. Good rebound by Green. Gets it out to Darrow. Darrow, easy pass in. Green loses it. Casher still trying to hustle. She's all or nothing, and it's always all. Never seen the nothing side of who they affectionately call Bama. She works so hard. She's a huge inspiration on the floor, and is that spark plug that they're missing in Atunawa. Casher has taken that mantle on, and she just does the cleanup work and hustles all the time. Lexi Rich, another miss. Metter going to try. She gets it blocked, but referee says it's a foul. That's going to be a 2-shot shooting foul. And Sydney Metter is proving to be an absolute lights-out free throw shooter.
Yeah, when your two top scorers are shooting 92 and 82% respectively,
That's nice.
and getting to the line a lot,
Yep.
then that's a really good thing.
Very nice. Look at the confidence. Sydney Metter. All the work is starting to really pay off for her in game time. Drovers. Mid-tempo in a half-court set. That's a big-time shot.
That's a good long-range shot there. They're not really known for their long-distance three-point shooting, only shooting about 28% on the season, but they can knock them down if they need to at times.
That was Baker from long range doing damage, and that's one thing you've got to get. So they're USAO not keeping the pace very high. They're breaking down into a half-court set, which is not really what I was expecting them to do. They create over 10 turnovers per game, and that's kind of to be expected with a press. But you would think a lot of scoring opportunities, so that generally speeds up the game. You don't get the opportunity to break down into a half-court offense as much. So I was thinking that we would see a little more of a fast-paced type of offense, especially in the first quarter, because the first quarter is usually USAO's best quarter of the game.
Hopefully then the Lady Lions will get more accustomed to that press and handling that press. And some of there's a good bucket down low, but some of their I think one reason why it hasn't sped up so much is that some of their turnovers have been like that against the press. Dead ball, they end up in a dead ball instead of a steal and then a fast break.
I'm sorry, I made an error earlier. That was James, and James just shot the ball, but James actually hit the three-pointer just a few seconds ago for the Drovers. She gets the inbounds pass there and takes it right at Lexi Rich. And that, I'm sure Coach Matthews for the Drovers has his own set of strategies to use a Belichickian term, take the main player out. And if you go at Lexi Rich, you definitely, she can heat up really quickly and do a lot of damage. So you always have to keep your eye on Lexi Rich, and trying to get her in foul trouble would be a good objective. Metter sees an opening. Casher's open, takes it to the basket strongly, and that's going to be two on scene.
Two on scene, yeah.
In the first quarter.
So it looks like, she'll be coming out, sitting down for a little while. Probably the rest of this quarter, for
I'm sure. And probably most of the second quarter. Coach Matthews will not want to risk putting her in jeopardy for the whole second half. So I would imagine he would try to make it as long as he can. And you got a 9-point lead. Actually, you've got an 8-point lead thanks to Miss Casher.
I think as long as he feels like that they are being effective with their press, he can feel comfortable, kind of leaving her on the bench for a while.
That's a great rebound. Good offensive rebound by James. James is the fourth leading scorer on this team. She is averaging 9.1 points a game. Great move by Metter, and the confidence will go up with every move and basket made like that. She's come accustomed to being a double-digit scorer and closer to the 20 mark than the 10 mark. So she's someone that you're going to have to really account for.
Yeah, you can't just key on Lexi the whole game and just say, hey, that's their top scorer, because Sydney is right there with it, less than a point difference separating them in terms of scoring average for the season.
Which ultimately I think is going to free up and help Lexi Rich get a little more open.
Some more shots. Yeah.
There's another one.
There.
Yep. Not paying attention, and Metter just moves. She's always moving, creating some space for herself, and it paid off there. She was wide open underneath the basket. There's a three, no good by James. And Darrow tries a three-quarter court shot, comes up a little short. And that's the end of the first quarter. We'll try to get some up-to-date stats for you as they come in. I had marked 4 turnovers in the first quarter for the Lady Lions, 1 turnover for the Drovers, unforced turnovers.
Yeah, and it's looking like if what I'm seeing here as far as total turnovers, it's looking more like the Lady Lions have 7 total turnovers.
Yeah, I was counting the unforced ones. In the press, there were a couple that the press was causing.
Went out of bounds
right.
or something like
that.
Yeah,
it hit off a knee and ricocheted or whatever. As you see, John Brown having a little bit of a down year in the Sooner Athletic Conference in women's basketball, at least. And Western Christian, the Lady Eagles are having a fantastic year, an up year for them, and they're doing damage as well. I think they sit in at 4-2 on the conference.
And they tied with these Drovers, for about fourth in the conference or something.
Yep, and you don't want to be at 8. You don't want to be on the bottom side of the top 8, but just so you know, if you don't know how the end of this works, it's the top 8 out of the 11 teams that are in the conference. The top 8 will make it to the conference tournament. So at least you would have a shot even if you finished 8th. And right now, Langston and SAGU are tied for that 7-8 spot. Still a lot of season left. We haven't even finished the end. That was a great shot.
I think that was Casher.
No, it was Brianna Wells. Okay, yeah. She just came into the game.
Okay.
And they need to get some inspired and good play out of Brianna Wells. She's more than capable, and she's the other big man to give Green a little bit of rest, and she can really do it. If she gets on a roll and gets her confidence back, she's going to be a great player for Coach Phillips. And that's a turnover. That's an unforced turnover, traveling call.
Yeah. Call it unforced, but there was some good defense.
It was good defense, too. But anytime you get a traveling violation, it's going to go in the books. Kiera Glenn trying to find a little seam to get through, testing this Drover defense. Oh, good fake. Lexi Rich looked good when it came off, just a little short. That was great hustle by Bama. Miss Casher just couldn't come up with it.
I'll live with that shot attempt right there in that.
Oh, absolutely. That shot attempt. Yeah, and it's frustrating. This is a new kind of her senior year. She's an all-star. She's an All-American, and trying to make the adjustment. Yet no team in their right mind is going to head up against SAGU, the Lady Lions, and let Lexi Rich beat you. They're going to key on her, and that's something that she is just really learning how to fight through, and it's going to expand her game, make her better ultimately, but still kind of in that learning curve.
Well, that's the disadvantage of being so good for several years. You have a reputation.
Yep. Lexi's still playing defense, playing hard, and she is the number 3 rebounder on this team, so doing a lot more than scoring. Kara Glenn using that high energy and quickness to try to create a bucket. Oh, this is a great move by Lexi Rich, and it doesn't
Just
fall.
can't get it to fall.
Ammons. Played down low, gets it. She's getting going now. She's got 5 points. Ammons showing that she has some tremendous quickness. They're going to get Kiara Glenn with that foul. I don't know if I agree with that, Carrie. Let's look at this in the replay.
That was really close. Yeah.
Well,
they were both going for the ball. Yeah.
But Ammons gets the jump on it, steals it, and kind of loses control. Kiara Glenn getting her speed to get back up on the ball creates a little bit of a loose ball situation, and they call a foul. I'm not sure what they're asking for.
Don't quite understand those hand motions.
Yeah. I haven't seen that one in the referee's handbook.
Okay.
Another stoppage. Off the ball foul. Interesting. Drovers with it in. James sets up for a 3. Off the back of the iron. Matter gets it. And pushes pretty hard. She loses the ball. Casher just trying to get rid of it. Does. Gets it to Metter. They're saying that got tipped by number 22.
One of the things that's interesting, if you look at the total shot attempts for each team, only 11 shot attempts for the Lady Lions compared to 21 for the Drovers.
Yeah.
And
again, some of that press is starting to show up, and through the turnovers that it's creating. That was good defense by the Drovers. It's a shot clock violation. That's the 3rd one for the Lady Lions. Good shot by James. You could tell James has got the green light to shoot that anytime she wants. So she must be the perimeter shooter in confidence when she's out on the floor. Coach Matthews didn't even bat an eye.
Yeah, James shooting right at 40% on the season.
And that's why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's percentage-wise, she's their top 3-point shooter.
Oh, this is a good cut. Move from the top of the key. That's Carrera. Casher sees Metter. Metter doesn't even think about it. Tries a left-handed layup. It's no good. That was great patience by Ammons to let the defender just go ahead and jump through, let it clear, go up with an easy layup.
Gives you a little idea of how she's scoring 18 points a game. Yes.
And she is the threat for sure. Coming in, averaging 17.6 points a game and right at 5 rebounds per game. So she does do a little bit of work inside the paint. She can also score from the perimeter. So she's a little bit of a dual threat on the floor. We see Rich coming out. And I believe that's Baker coming in. It is. So you have Baker, Glenn, Green, Metter, and Casher on the floor for the Lions. Good defense by Emmons. Emmons has got really quick hands. And just coming off the bench, getting in the game for the first time. I think that was a little shocking to Baker, how quick Emmons was. That was a good wide open shot, just a little long by Emmons. Got a whistle and travel on Green. Lady Lions are going to have to show a few defensive stop stands here and make something happen on the offense. Oh, James says, my bank is always open. She cashes in from the top of the key on a bank shot, increasing that deficit to 16. Baker comes out, Rich comes back in. She got the rest she needed. Rich is going to have to make a few things happen.
Yeah, she's going to need to kind of step up. It's not often you see her being scoreless with about 4 minutes to go in the half, in the second quarter.
Well, they've got Emmons in the man-to-man on Casher right now. She had been guarding, and that's going to be on the floor. Kiara Glenn, I believe they caught him on the floor, but she's going to shoot 1-and-1. Nope. The other referee says it's not time for 1-and-1. We're going to take it on the out-of-bounds line.
And it looked like one of them was even going to try and call it offensive.
Yeah. A little too much movement down in the paint for that. A little scramble for the ball. James comes up with it. They're going to say it's a quick travel. I understand that call because she rolls. And theoretically, it's impossible. You don't have a pivot foot to hold yourself still, so any referee is going to call any kind of movement a travel because you can't roll and have not moved.
And still have a pivot foot in place.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to do. Rich to inbound the ball. Gets it into Casher. Good defense being played on Kiara Glenn to keep the ball out of her hands on the inbound side. The Drover defense switches on everything in this man-to-man. Very well played.
Yeah, I would say right now, if you had to say a winning component of the game is the Drover defense, both their press and even their half-court defense.
The half-court defense has been even more impressive than the press. Yeah. Press has been fairly token. Some of the quickness in Ammons has created turnovers or a couple steals already. And but when they get that, they have forced 3 clock shot violations on the Lady Lions. So
and a lot of the shots that we're taking are really contested shots. and as evidenced by 11 points, so far in the game total. Yeah, that was good ball movement and good shot down low.
Great shot by Metter. She quickly spins into that and just with confidence, and that's what it takes. It takes a lot of confidence, quickly recognizing where you are. Another offensive rebound by the Drovers. That gets blocked by Green.
Blocked by Green, yeah. And then running the floor, got the ball.
Metter gets the ball a little late to Green, so she didn't have an easy layup. That's easy for Emmons right there. Great pass by Carrera. She sees the floor very well.
So you see this a little bit different take on their press, just kind of like pressure, backing up, just slowing them down.
Yep.
Not really trying to force a steal, but then they got the steal on the half-court defense.
James with another miss. Glenn patiently gets into the half-court set. But Metter trying to make something happen, loses the ball again. Metter wanting a little bit of a foul call there, and I don't know that I blame her. A lot of hands in the cookie jar. Darrow's in for Kiera Glenn. Brianna Wells in.
That's the
Lexi Rich,
look,
yep.
Best look she's had all night so far.
She's just going to have to keep trying. And ultimately, once she feels that one go in, she'll.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've seen her. It's like, not doing much, and then all of a sudden you look up and she's got 20 points.
Yep. And
so she can get on fire and really change the game in a hurry.
And I like what I see Lexi talking to the referee, and this is what a good veteran does. And when things are not going your way, there's a lot of times a reason for that. And it's good defense, but she definitely, and I did this when I played, you have that conversation with the ref, say, Mr. Ref, I'd like you to at least inspect what's going on here. I know it's easy to get lost in the rest of the game, but there's some holding going on, whatever it is. And smartly, she had that conversation.
And you do it with the right attitude, and
she
you
did.
Don't show up the ref. They're more inclined to give you those calls. At least be paying attention.
Well, there's no more classier of an athlete than Lexi Rich.
Absolutely.
On the line, Sydney Miller.
James comes out. And it looks like a newcomer to the floor, Palmer. Metter
Tell you what,
converts.
if Sydney could just get to the line like that, that's where she can be most effective.
She will accumulate a lot of points for sure because she just doesn't miss. DeRoe, look at the quick hands of DeRoe. Or Darrow. She does a great job going to the basket, creating the steal and just taking it all the way. Good makeup defense there by Carrera. No, I'm sorry, that's not Carrera. That is the newcomer, Palmer. That's saved by Casher. Put up. Badero. Good feed down low. steal created by Lexi Rich. That's going to be called a jump ball. Possession arrow goes back to the Drovers. Johnson gets it in to Lua. Lua wondering what to do. Throws a bad pass. Darrow picks it up. A speedster trying to create some momentum and energy. Gets the ball to Lexi Rich. Lexi's just off the mark from the top. Coach Phillips working her offense, trying to find a good space to get Lexi Rich open and get her heated up and going. Hasn't worked from the side or the top yet. I have a feeling they're going to find a space before this game is over.
And they've gotten Lexi a couple of good open shots at the top there. They just haven't fallen the last couple of times. But, you know, if she keeps shooting those will eventually start going down.
Well, it just takes one. It takes one to fill. She's a good fill shooter and get that rhythm going. I believe that's going to be on 23 Palmer as DeRoe comes through the middle and gets knocked down.
So
or actually, they're going to say that's a illegal pick or a push on Palmer against Lexi Rich. And this is a good place. This is a good place for Lexi to be.
She can feel the ball go through the hoop. Yeah.
Take her time. There you go. You see her just kind of like, okay, that's the feeling. That's the feeling. And there it is. And it really, for a good shooter, you know, that's all it takes. Just get warmed up a little bit, get the rhythm. Going to give her a quick break.
Well, I think she doesn't want her to pick up her third foul.
Oh, and she got 2 fouls.
I think she's got 2 fouls.
Well, definitely not.
Yeah. And with 11 seconds to go, sure don't want her to get that.
Absolutely. Oh, that was a great move by Johnson down on the baseline. USAO showing why they're 4-2. The great defense has come with them all the way from Oklahoma City to the Schaefer Center. And you see a score 31-17 in favor of the Drover over your Lady Lions. We're going to go down courtside with Riker Russell. She's with assistant coach Eric Woods. Riker, what does Coach Woods have to say about the first half?
Thanks, Sean. Coach, turnovers have really seemed to be a struggle tonight. What do you need to do to fix and correct those unforced errors?
Yeah, no, I'm glad you called it because that was literally the first thing I was going to say. Turnovers are destroying us. We got to make better passes. Our passes are way too weak. We got to know they're jumping the passing lanes and they're being very aggressive, so we have to be aggressive back and attack.
Lady Drovers have shut down your leading scorer, Lexi Rich, in the first half, holding her to 2 points. How will you get her going again in the second half?
She came over. I know she's been kind of struggling lately, so she came over. A lot of shots are open and shots that she usually hits. I think a lot of it's just mental. They're really close. You just got to keep telling her to keep shooting those shots and come out here during the half and get shots up so she can get her mindset back into that confidence and get that confidence that she needs to start hitting those.
Thank you so much, Coach. Good luck tonight. Back to you, John.
Thanks, Riker. Thanks, Coach Wood. And you know, he's right. You got to get the offense going. It's going to be hard to win a ball game if you can't manage to get that offensive going and on track. You got to score points. And, it's not like you're going to keep the other team from scoring any points. Now you're in a deficit, so you really got to get it going. And they know they got to find a way to get Lexi going in this second half. And I have a feeling that she will. It's a extreme rarity to have Lexi not on the board like they've kept her off. Even as good, we've seen better defenses where Lexi has done a tremendous job scoring. So
Yeah.
we know she can.
I think it's just been a combination of good defense and just a slightly off first half for her shooting-wise, and just kind of combined with creating just 2 points for the first half. But you know that that's probably not going to be the case for the whole game.
I think a key is going to be getting Kiara Glenn back involved on the offense as well. She's kind of missing as well, and the speed of Glenn and Darrow could shake things up. So you might see Coach Phillips go to a little more frantic pace just to try something different and see if they could catch the Drovers off balance. It's been a very methodical type half-court game, which not what I was expecting, but both teams just trying to be patient, take their time. Too many easy buckets for the Drovers and way too many turnovers for the Lady Lions. Well, we're going to be back in just a few minutes with the third quarter action and hopefully some first half stats. You're watching the SAGU Sports Network.
In the recruiting process, we went to a lot of NCAA, D1, D2, D1 AA, FCS, FBS, just all of them. And it's quite a process. And what we like about the NAIA is that's what they're focusing on, is the student athlete and their character and their future, and it's about them.
Leadership is influence, and there are those who are going to be gifted at it, that God's given them that gift and in that role, and so it's very important that they know how to lead according to the leading of the Spirit.
You may sense a gifting from God to leadership within the church or wherever, the marketplace, but still it would be a good thing for you to receive academic training in that.
The MOL is all about that. It's about helping people discover their giftedness, have a sense of purpose and mission.
It's a 12-course, 36-hour degree concerning organizational leadership.
I do some work as a consultant for the Texas Police Chiefs Association, and I run a leadership academy for them. But I didn't have the credentials other than self-study.
It meets the need for those who are leading ministries or churches.
There's people in there who aren't pastors, who are business people, who are in all kinds of education fields and law. We've had lawyers, we've had military people.
From school teachers to administrators to pastors, associate pastors, leaders of nonprofits, leaders of for-profits. With digital efficiency.
Professors were phenomenal. The way they lay out the course, the way they create safety in that room for you to be who you really are. That's what's important. Leaders need to be authentic. They taught us how to be compassionate, how to be vulnerable, how to be transparent.
But we recognize that there are people on the field who may not be professors, but they've got something to say. So we have two different kind of MOL programs. We have that it can be totally online, or we have what we call an executive MOL, where we bring in a practitioner.
Learn how to manage people from your heart, not just from your head.
And for 3 days, they have an opportunity to hear the passion, the heartbeat of an energized leader. They have an opportunity to rub shoulders with and hear from someone who is doing it from the field.
When I came on campus, it was like a retreat to me. It was refreshing. It was to sit in that room with other practitioners, and we're talking God the entire time. We're talking leadership and we're talking God.
Some people go, are you a born leader or are you not a born leader? Well, I think there's some people who have giftings, that they have a gift like that, but everyone should be able to grow in it. And so you may be not so good, you can become good. And there's others that are gifted, but all of us need to grow and be able to influence for good.
Honey, have you applied to that school yet?
Not really into purple.
SAGU. Never say no to a lion.
I go back to J.C. Watt's definition of character that he was taught by his grandmother when he was a little boy. He said, character is doing the right thing when nobody's looking.
We felt the best way to change human behavior was not necessarily to always be on people's backs, but rather it was to catch them doing something right and to reinforce it.
What we're looking for as students in the church leadership program and any of our vocational ministry programs is somebody who has a passion for Christ, a passion for people, somebody who has an element of seriousness, but they'll be transparent and be people of integrity.
I'm looking for students that are going to invest their lives in the life of a student that says, I know how tough adolescence can be.
This degree is tailor-made for that unique life, trying to help individuals really learn all that goes into the unique realities of church leadership.
What we've done is make this degree a great combination. They're able to pick and choose various ministry classes and really get a wide range, a well-rounded view of church life. It's like build your own degree if you feel the desire or the calling.
We're equipping students that if in 10 years they say, well, God's moving me out of youth ministry, out of children's ministry, well, they can become some other type of associate. They can go into pastoral ministry.
We're increasing the internship component that goes alongside this degree. And so, this gives a good potential. A student can be plugged into a single church for 3 semesters. They could be plugged into 3 different churches.
If it's children and family classes, then, for example, there's one called Creative Methods, ballooning, juggling, clowning, all of those kinds of things that we're going to cover. We also have a course called Issues in Childhood and Family Life. How do we do care for people who've gone through abuse and neglect and divorce and all the tough things that come in life, especially in the lives of kids?
I discovered that along with other things that I had been doing.
And in pastoral leadership, they're going to get courses such as ministerial ethics. They're going to get courses like pastoral leadership itself, but then they'll also pick up things like hermeneutics and systematic theology to go along with preaching courses and pastoral counseling courses.
They're going to be learning, some of the practices of ministry, certainly, how to communicate, how to lead a service, how to, develop ministry, but they're also going to learn a lot about dealing with people, things like how to help a church turn around one that's been struggling, or how to plant a new ministry.
Whenever I talk to freshmen, I say, don't think that you're purchasing a 4-year degree. Said you're investing in a lifelong relationship. Ministry can be a very lonely place, and our role is that they know they always have a friend at Southwestern.
Ministry is not necessarily the easiest thing they'll get into, but it's something that they commit themselves to, not because of their it's a profession, but because it's a passion in their heart.
Jesus gave us a lot of indications of that, showing us that in his kingdom, leadership will operate differently than it does in the world around us. The sense of servant leadership, working with individuals who maybe at times are in deep distress, trauma, great need. So degrees in church leadership are there to help address that.
I try to think of, how a kid will view me on the court, and what I want them to see, in my mind, is someone who has a ton of fun doing it, who does what's right and does his best every time he steps onto the floor.
Where online makes really good sense is when you're kind of not the typical, I just graduated from high school and I want to have a college experience.
I chose distance education because I was busy. I mean, I knew that our lives were kind of all over the place.
And welcome back from halftime. Your Lady Lions are down 14 points, as you see. The Drovers 31, Lady Lions 17. Tough first half, Carrie, for all parties on the SAGU side. Lexi Rich only with 2 points. And I think we could attribute that to some great defense by the Drovers.
Absolutely. I think it was a combination. There's a good defense, just a slightly off shooting night for her, but I don't expect that to continue. So we'll see if they can kind of turn things around, because even though you may look at it and think it was a really bad half, well, 14 points is not an insurmountable number to try and overcome.
Absolutely not, and we've seen the Lady Lions come back from larger deficits with just a few minutes left on the clock. Now we hope they don't wait till a few minutes left on the clock. Go ahead and take care of business right now, but that's not how you do it. You got to take care of the ball. Emmons in and out, no good. That put back by Carrera twice. No good. Lexi Rich settles the ball, gets it to Kiara Glenn. They're going to get back into the Patience offense. Glenn looking for something. To Rich, to Cashier. Metter. And that's going to be a good way to do it. Just be patient with it and let your offense present trouble for the defense. And then the next thing you know, you got a good penetration by Kiara Glenn. She gets a good shot and a foul.
You see, they've brought Scene back in the game now to start the second half with her 2 fouls, and that was close to her getting her 3rd foul down there. She took it right at her.
Johnson Going to try to do work on Green. She gets called for a travel. She disagrees. Let's see.
I think she did. I think
let's
when
look
I
at
saw
the
it, she
replay
did.
here.
It was good defense from Green.
It's a lot of shuffle there.
So they're back now. There's one of those blocks that she's well known for.
Adding to her total. I think she's over her quota. Lexi Rich. Bad pass by Rich, trying to go down that baseline. And you'd have to be kind of a pitcher. Get it to curve back in because
or
this
soccer or something that, to bend it right around that way.
Kara Glenn settling the offense. Looking for some patience. Metter back to Glenn. Casher playing a wing. Gets it out to Green and she travels. Johnson brings up the ball for the Drovers. Hammond quickly swings it around. Some more of the token press, easily broken by the Lions.
But again, look, they're down to about 15 seconds, 18 seconds. They were starting to get into their offense, so kind of have to then be in just a little bit hurry-up mode. That's a
nice
good pass.
Dish
yes.
by Sydney Metter to Green. Leads only 10. So cutting into that halftime deficit. And this is how you do it. Just methodically kind of work it. Don't worry about the clock. Just need to make buckets.
Yeah, they do have the firepower to overcome this 10-point deficit easily because the Lady Lions have actually done a pretty good job defensively.
Green with a good rebound. She could have gone right back up with it. Decided not to. They're going to reset the offense. I like it. Patience. Coach has drawn up some plays, and they're going to try to work them. And I like that. When you can believe and buy into the system, believe in the system, and run your plays, those teams tend to, in the long run, do the best. And I think that this is the way they're just going to methodically work their way back into this, play good defense. And so far this third quarter, that's what they've done. Glenn. But that's a great rebound by Casher. She gets her own rebound again.
And then going to have another foul on
Seen.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be 3 on Seen. It's going to cause Coach Matthews on the Drover bench to scratch his head and come up with a game plan. Still a little bit early in the game to be worrying about getting your big man into severe foul trouble. James Now, she's a 40% three-point shooter. You cannot lose her on your radar, or she will do just that and quickly extend the lead on you. And where SAGU had it down to 10, now it's back to 13.
Yeah, and coincidentally, she has 13 points now. And so that her three-point shooting, I would say, is probably the difference in the game, because we probably haven't hit maybe even one single three. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember if we've hit one single three, but if it is, it probably hasn't been more than one, and she probably has 4 herself, James.
DAG stats seems to be down at the moment, so we're working on trying to get some up-to-date stats for you. They're not coming through, so we're just going to have to keep good notes, Sir Carey.
Oh, we can just go by memory. We remember everything, right?
Yeah, there you go. Lexi getting double teamed, so somebody's open. This is good. Metter seizes the opportunity, but misses the easy shot, and that's going to go off of James. She was fighting for the rebound down on the baseline.
Yeah, we feel like it was the turnover issue that was more of the problem for the Lady Lions, but the turnover, I've got some halftime stats here, finally. The turnover difference was really not that great. We had 13. The Drovers had 11, so it wasn't a big difference. Where the real difference comes in more is in the shooting percentage.
Yep.
That's what has really made such a big difference, where we were only shooting at halftime about 17%. They were shooting right at 40%.
There you go. Well, that is the obvious and logical difference, but no coach will ever be okay with 13 turnovers, no matter what the ratio difference is between your team and their team. And now you know why you're down, but you look at all those and you cut those turnovers in half, and then you score on half of those, and you virtually wipe out any lead or deficit that you may have.
Yeah, I don't think any coach, as you said, would be happy on a 26 turnover pace night.
No.
But I think that's kind of also what kept them in the game, is forcing 11 turnovers.
Yeah.
It's kind of what kept the game within reach.
Good block by Seen. I believe that is her 4th of the game. James fakes a three-point shot, and that's going to be off the ball foul. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes. He counts it. If they counted, I think that was a 3. Let's see. Nope, she was inside the arc, but they're going to count that as 2. He does. He counts it there, and that's going to be foul on SAGU. And they did not post who that foul was going against.
It looked like maybe it was Metter down there trying to get position on Scene for the rebound, I think.
Yeah, it was. That is Sydney Metter's first foul. Now Lexi Rich looks like she's getting determined. Oh, good move by Green. Got the foul. I think maybe they need to just try that a few times and see if they can get her on the line a little more, because the Drovers seem to panic a little more down low in the paint, and they do collapse well, but the Lady Lions have been going, finding that weakness and getting collecting the fouls.
And if nothing else, I think you can maybe get that inside-out game going, where if you can get it inside, they collapse a little bit, which can then kick out for maybe some of those open threes that we know Sydney and Lexi can knock down.
Quick three there, no good. But Singh gets a good rebound. Carrera gets an even better rebound. Scramble. And that's going to be a travel. But that was great hustle by Casher.
She just wouldn't give up there.
The Energizer Bunny, man. She is not going to ever give up on you. Love it. Brianna Wells checking in for Green. Going to give Green a little rest here in the third quarter. Make sure she doesn't get too tired and get a silly foul. Good move.
And coming in with a little speed, too.
A lot of speed.
She is so fast.
Incredible. It's just incredible speed.
There's probably not very many people completely on this campus that
can outrun her.
That could outrun her.
That is true. And she does it well while dribbling. I mean, she can dribble at a furious pace. James with the ball up top. They get it down to Green. To Singh. Brianna Wells playing excellent defense. Forces her to the baseline, and Singh steps out. Brianna Wells with a shot. Had a chance to get the rebound, but bounces a little bit over her reach. Goes out of bounds. USAO ball.
And I believe the Lady Lions are shooting 0% from three.
When you do so well, and the three has become, the Lady Lions have become kind of dependent on it. That is a huge statistic to be over. And they're going to count that as a three.
I think that might have just been a two.
Well, I haven't gotten the official ruling, but are the girls playing from the purple? That was my understanding.
Okay.
The girls are playing from the purple.
If that's the case, then yeah, it was definitely a three.
Yeah. She was definitely on the yellow line. James misses. A lot of offensive rebounds. Like to see that stat line as well. How many offensive rebounds the Drovers have?
As of halftime, they had 9 offensive rebounds compared to 8 for the Lady Lions.
Not a big difference,
but closer than what it just appears to be, when you're watching it. The rebounding battle at halftime was just almost even. The Drovers leading 21-20 in the rebound category.
DeRoe from three. Felt it earlier. Wasn't far off the mark there. Oh, that was a good move by Carrera. Gets rid of it. Back to James. This team is content with letting James just push him up. And there's a reason why, because she can make them.
That's right. When you get to this point in the season, you kind of start getting a feel, somebody's stats, their percentages, they're beginning to take shape. And what somebody is, it can still change some, but you're starting to get a bit of feel. And she's shooting 40% for a reason.
Casher makes a good move to the basket, but highly contested and just comes up short. James, another one, DeRoe gets in there.
This will be a good match here. It's like you kind of saw that coming, from a little ways away.
Saying she didn't touch her. DeRoe goes to the ground.
Kind of go with the shortest person on the court going up against the tallest, and you see who won that battle.
Well, we'll see.
At least you got the foul, though.
Yeah, and that's a big plus because that's 4 on Singh. And that is a huge turn of events in this game. Rowe gets one of two.
So I like the little spark that DeRose brought in. You know, she came in, she hit that three. Her speed is kind of giving a little bit of a change of pace. Also giving another option on the offense where she's willing to step up and take the shots, take the ball to the hole, and take that little pressure off of Sydney and Lexi. And now, if they start worrying about DeRoe, looking at maybe opening up some things for her teammates.
I think she's going to have to make a couple more for this the game plan from the Drovers to significantly change.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to just like all of a sudden forget Lexi. I don't think just because.
Yeah.
But at least it gives somebody another option.
There does need, and somebody needs to step up and start scoring to just show that this team is more than the two-headed dragon that everybody can see on paper. And that's what makes teams great, when bench players and other players sees an opportunity like this and makes something of it.
And the thing about it, every one of these girls is a player. They can all score. It's not like nobody can score, even though you have kind of like two main scorers. Anybody can light it up at any time.
Another perimeter shot not falling for the Drovers. Metter just trying to dribble through trouble. Doesn't work. That ball gets to James, and James makes him pay. Casher. No good. James. A little off, but she seems to be making like one out of every three. Yeah. Still pretty good clip. When you think about it, points per shot, you can get 1 point per shot. You're actually going to do pretty well.
Yeah, it doesn't take a great mathematician to think that shooting from three, you don't have to shoot as high a percentage, to have the same effective points. Even that 33%, from three-point line, you have to shoot 50% to equal that, and not many people shoot 50%.
I thought it was 60% from the two to equal that, because it's 2 for 3.
Yeah.
So the effective rate would be, if you shot 50 from 2, you get 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
If you shoot 33% from 3, you get 3 points.
Yeah.
So I think you have to bump it up just a little bit to 60%. You're the math wizard, so I'm sure you could correct my error in my thinking. But for some reason, I'd always kind of thought that it takes 60% from 2 to equal 33% from 3.
Okay.
Figure that out there, Mister, on your vacation.
Okay.
Over there. And there you see, that's more like the score we thought it would be. Oklahoma City drubbing the Bacone Lady Warriors in the fashion that they've been drubbing everyone this year, except for your Lady Lions. The Lady Lions played an excellent game last Saturday. Wayland Baptist up by 21 on the Lady Lions of Langston. I'm sure there's some other games going on around the conference and even the nation. As those come in, we'll try to keep you up on that. And there you see Central Christian playing OPSU. JBU travels over to Oklahoma City, Southwestern Christian University. Oh, good defense by Bama. Metter drives in. It was good. Oh, great rebound. Great offensive rebound by Miss Casher. She picked up.
USAO foul number 4, Caitlin Hodgins for a second foul.
She didn't pick up a foul, but she created an opportunity to shoot foul shots, free throws. That's one thing that I've noticed the big change this year, as in the past, is this Lady Lions team is lights out from the free throw line.
They really are. If you look at their ranking and their overall team free throw percentage, they are really good. Of course, it helps, again, as I mentioned earlier, your top two shooting 92 and 82%.
15-point deficit at the early part of the fourth quarter. A little bit of a hill decline for the Lions. And that's going to be a block that goes against Metter. That's going to be her second foul.
Second foul number 23.
I believe that will be a two-shot foul.
On the line, RJ Cage.
Good shot by Cage. She sinks both of those. Increase their lead to 17. That's going to be a jump ball. And I believe the possession arrow goes to SAGU, and it does. Still in the half-court offense, running the play. Nice ball movement. Darrow going to the line. I like it. Scoring with the clock, standing still. That's a good way to be able to make a comeback like this.
Especially this late in the game.
Yep.
You're going to have to work the clock, get a lot of these points with the clock not running, and then start being more efficient with those shots. Some of those threes, if they could start falling and then make a dent in it and then give you hope, kind of those last 2 or 3 minutes there.
Darrow sinks both of those. Brings it back to a 15-point ball game. Metter playing full court, man-to-man. Drovers trying to be patient.
Yeah, you can tell they're thinking clock as well. Yeah, so
they are
working it around the perimeter.
She was open on that shot, but I think if I was Coach Matthews, I'd be asking for them to cook a little bit more of that clock off. Another unforced turnover by the Lady Lions. We get Kiara Glenn checking in for Casher. Now you got 2 speed demons up front or in your backcourt. And I don't know if we've seen this look yet, so maybe things will speed up.
Yeah, I think they're going to need to go to a faster pace, a little helter-skelter, try and force some turnovers, get some quick baskets.
Got to play a little better defense than that. That was too easy for Johnson. She just made a good cut, wide open Going through the lane. There you go. Lexi Rich gets an easy 2 there. Good move to the middle. Need to get a few defensive stops here. Oh, Emmons from long distance. I believe that's her first one of the night. There we go. Lexi Rich starting to get off of that slump. You can see a little jab step, move to the left, create some space. Get a good shot. And that's going to be a foul on the floor on Sydney Metter. That's going to be her third.
Hey, you saw Lexi down here think about that long range shot, and I guess then she hadn't been feeling that. Here's DeRoe with the steal coming down the court. So close.
Nice try by Emmons to get it to Green, but it did not happen. I actually like that DeRoe back to Kiera Glenn for the 3. Kiera Glenn's a good 3-point shooter, and that was not beyond the scope of what they're capable of. So maybe Kiera, take a stop, settle a little bit. She didn't have much pressure on her.
Right.
But it's kind of hard to do that in a full all-out sprint.
Yeah. She came out, didn't really get her feet set,
Yep.
almost traveled, and
Yep.
I think she was worried about traveling
Yep.
and trying to go ahead and get the shot up.
Get it up.
Yeah.
But I actually like that choice because Darrow could have gone to the basket, but she'd have gone through 2 people. Maybe she could have gotten the foul, but with a wide open Kiera Glenn who can shoot out there, I think the math worked well. So it was a good decision. And you're going to need some big plays. You need the 3 to come into play here.
Right.
To cut into this lead with such little time left. It's going to be interesting to see if how the defense of USAO attacks this. If they're going to stay in this, and it looks like they are, it's going to be a 2-2-1 look. Actually kind of spreads out into this man-to-man, but they're letting Green sink back. And then they get into a 2-3 zone. Darrow was open. It was a good shot. Great rebound by Kiera Glenn. DeRoe feels open.
There we go.
And that's her second one of the night. A good stop here, yeah.
Have our only 2 threes of the night.
Well, I think you're right on that. Rich down to Metter. Metter's going to try to make something happen on the baseline. James catches up with the long pass, knocks it out, so it will remain on the SAGU side of the court. Kiera Glenn to throw the ball in. They get it into Metter. Down to Green. Like the shot. But Singh picks up the rebound and now is going to try to take it coast to coast. That's going to be a charge. Darrow courageously staying in there with the big.
I think that's her 5th.
Singh coming in, and now how crucial is that with 5 minutes and 33 seconds left on the clock? Your big man fouls out, and that's going to keep Coach Matthews awake on the sideline.
She's probably not typically the one that he says to bring the ball down full court. But she did a good job.
But I was open, Coach. I was open.
And except for the last part with the foul, she did a really good job.
Little broken play. Metter tries to make the best of it, misses the short shot, but it was a good play. They're going to get Johnson with that. Too much contact.
And Kiara a little frustrated her just a little bit, and she retaliated.
Yeah,
on
she
her.
did. And you saw that little push off.
Yeah.
And just got to keep your emotions in check. She actually probably took a little bit of a hit from Kiara Glenn.
I was expecting the foul. I was expecting the foul first.
Yeah, and because it cut her forehead, and they're over there. The trainers are tending to Johnson's forehead, and so Johnson is talking to the referees. I'm the one bleeding here, but no matter what.
Those retaliation fouls, the ref
they always
sees
get
them.
caught, because they're late, and for some reason the ref's always looking at it, and that not only was a foul, but it was a flagrant foul because it was intentional. I guess it would be better to say it's an intentional foul because it was a retaliation. Flagrant, she was in no jeopardy of actually getting removed from the game.
Let's see if we can make this a 5-point possession here.
This would be huge.
That would be really good.
Would cut it down to under double digits for the first time in a long time. Metter's having trouble keeping the ball in her hand on those dribbles in, on the dribble drives in, and that was a great play by Emmons.
I think we remember that possession right there. That could have been a huge turning point. Not that it means it's over, but boy, that would have changed the momentum and the feel of everything to get down to an 8-point.
And here comes Lexi Rich. It's a 11-point game. Metter's got to be careful. That's going to go against Green. The pace is getting a little more frantic.
A little frantic, that little bit of worry setting in.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Time's running out.
Yes.
On the clock. But the good news is you're seeing a lot of energy still left in the Lady Lions to be able to play that full court defense, and that's what you want to see. Coach Phillips has got to be excited that she knows her team is capable of making the move. Still plenty of time on the clock.
And you see the lineup out there right now is probably one of the fastest lineups you have out there right now for full court pressure.
DeRose just going to break it herself, gets it off. And Kiara Glenn, big time shot.
Good shot.
And when she sets in, she's really improved her range. Emmons, off.
You don't look now, but it's single digits.
Darrow sees an opening. Throws it into a covered lane. Johnson gets the steal. And that's going to be a charge. That could have been Sydney Metter's 4th foul, but the referee says she owned that space. She did, as you see. Good call by the referee. And that is Johnson's 3rd foul. That's the 3rd charge for Sydney Metter tonight. So Lions now within 9.
It's still there. It's still there. Yeah.
3 or 4 scores. So it's within reach. Got to play good defense. I think the Lady Lions are benefiting from the high pace.
Yes, I think you see them, that frantic pace setting in, picking up full court. I think it's kind of flustering the Drovers a little bit. Yeah.
And not having their big man in to kind of stop things, be the rim protector, is going to work to the Lady Lions' advantage. So don't turn your dial or
your internet
or do not
setting or
click
something.
on to anything else, because there's still a lot of game left to play. DeRoe airballs it, but it's a great rebound.
Good save. And she's
Another save.
She was right on the line.
Yeah.
She was on the line.
DeRoe with a good effort, trying to get that back in play. As you can see, just barely on the line. Now the Drovers have patched up Johnson's forehead. They get it to Johnson. Going to work it. Johnson clears out Ammons. Ammons runs underneath, comes back out. In and out for Ammons, but that's a good rebound by Cabrera. Carrera's going to go to the line. These are big free throws.
Yeah, that was a good effort on her part to get around there and get in position for that rebound and then go right back up and draw the foul.
Carrera sinks her first one. Makes it a 10-point deficit for the Lions. She has a 64% free throw shooting average. Makes both of them. Glenn with a dangerous pass. Gets back to Darrow. Darrow gives the long range a shot, but nothing. Ammons comes up. She's going to go all the way. Finger roll. That's a little George Gervin style.
That really was a good job on her part. You saw DeRoe set up to take the charge, and then Ammons just kind of pulled it back just a little bit instead of taking it right into her and scored the basket.
And that's going to be 3 shots from the free throw line for Lexi Rich with the clock off. Ammons attacks this very hard, knowing Rich can hit those. They've got a lot of hand and forearm. That is her 3rd foul.
Lexi shooting 92% from the line for the season. So you like your chances with her shooting from there.
Yes, and especially with the clock off. She should get this back to a 10-point game. Two minutes and 24 seconds left. Gonna have to come up with a little bit of defensive magic. Meadow gets beat. Good heads-up play by Carrera. Gets it to Ammons. Ammons has 20. She's over her average. No foul call, but that's 2.
That looked like that was going to be an and one.
Yep. Can't trade baskets here. Got to get a defensive stop. Ammons filling it now with 22 points. Well over her average of 17 a game.
That's one of those things where when you're a coach, it's like, no, 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 good shot.
Yeah. Rich tries to make something work. Casher gets the rebound, gets it to Glenn. Glenn sinks it. Still a 10-point game. Got to think about fouling. Glenn trying to get in there, steal the ball. And that's what you want. You got to get the clock stopped. And now hope that your opponent is not going to shoot well. And this is Johnson. Johnson shoots 65% from the free throw line.
So yeah, I think at this point, this is your kind of your only hope, your game plan at this point. You just put them on the line, hope they miss, and you come down and score quickly. If they sink their free throws,
you have to live with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because you can't let them come down and have a 20 or 30-second possession.
And misses. Rich with the rebound. Rich is going to try to play a little cat and mouse there. Goes around to Emmons. It's a good layup, and it falls. So they gain a point there. It's a 9-point ball game. Glenn. Carrera makes it. The referee didn't get it, but I was going to say, referee didn't see it, but Metter was very careless, was standing on the line when she handed the ball in. We'll see if this replay goes all the way through. Right there, I mean, just not paying attention. Got to pay attention to the details. This isn't the NBA. Oh, that was a great inlet pass. Good move by Carrera.
Great inbounds play.
James fouls DeRoe. DeRoe still working hard with 41 seconds left.
Second foul. On the line, Tamara DeRoe.
Two shots. DeRoe gets it to fall. A lot of rim. That one's off. Good rebound by Lexi Rich. She pulls up quickly from the corner. Kiara Glenn forced the turnover, but Casher was there to pick it up.
Put it up
and puts it in. Defense still working hard. Carrera, lead pass. Goes back to Carrera. They foul Carrera with two shots. I think that's going to go on Rich. Nope. Actually going to go on Casher. It's her third.
It's really hard to be playing that full-court defense right here at the end of the game when Lexi, Rich, and Metter, they've been in there the whole game for all practical purposes. You know they've got to have some tired legs.
2 free throws by Carrera are good, and that puts her 2 points over her average of 12 a game. Glenn found herself wide open and missed the easy layup. Goes out on Kiara Glenn. The Lions are going to let him dribble it out. Maybe not. Referee calls a foul with 2 seconds left. Game in hand. Probably just protecting the player. Looked like it could have been a good steal there.
Yeah.
Little too late, though, for the Lions.
And Emmons has really stepped up here in the latter part in this fourth quarter. You see she's above her average now, and she really hit some big shots down the stretch here.
She did.
James hit some big threes kind of all along the game, but then kind of Emmons is kind of one that seemed to kind of step up here at the end.
Well, the Lady Lions dropped one I think that they felt confident that they would win, and a bit stunned here. USAO, though, we knew was very capable of coming in and getting a win. They've moved to 5-2 in conference play on the year.
Dropping the Lady Lions to 2-5. So that was a big swing right there.
So Langston, I don't know if the outcome, Langston lost. So keeps the Lady Lions, but now Central Christian with a win, and they move into some 8th place contention. So it's a 3-way tie essentially for 8th place. Says 7th, but a 3-way.
Two of those will be out on the outside looking in.
Yeah, well, one of them will definitely. So it's just too early to tell who that is going to be. That drops SAGU to 7-7 overall for the year, but it's conference record that really matters. And for the tournament consideration. And so now the Lady Lions have dug themselves a little bit of a hole, but still a lot of season left to play. And we've seen them play very well. They've got a very high-value win in beating LSUS, and then really staying close with the number 2 team in the nation in Oklahoma City. So we know that they can do it. They can play together. It's just you have to come in, pay attention to the details, and really be focused on what you're doing to get these wins. You can't ever take anything for granted in the Sooner Athletic Conference. They're just that good.
I think USAO came in with a really good game plan. I think they executed things really well in terms of their press and their half-court defense. And the Lady Lions just, I think, ultimately just didn't shoot well enough.
Yeah, and too many turnovers, and you don't shoot well enough for 3/4 of the game. It's just going to be hard to get a win. Well, stay tuned because you're going to get some high-level action. The SAGU men's are going to now play the University of Science and Arts from Oklahoma City, and that's going to be a guaranteed good game. Both of these teams can really get it up and down the floor, and at the very least, it's going to be exciting, Gary. So you're not going to want to miss that. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few minutes. You're watching the SAGU Sports Network.